Hey there, Farmer Kevin here. I'm here with Thor and Odin, Shake Fork Oxen team, and I just kind of wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about what is an ox. It's often one of the first questions that people, when I bring these guys out into public, people ask is like, well, what is an ox? Because a lot of people, and don't worry if you're one of them, might think that ox is an entirely different species, or that oxen maybe not even cattle at all. And so one of the things that is kind of an important thing to remember when you're talking about, well, what is an ox, is I like to think of it as more of a job title than a class of cattle. So just like I am an ox, or I am a farmer, these guys are oxen. And it's more about what they do than who they are. So the classic definition of what an ox is, at least here in North America, is a adult, castrated, male bovine that is trained to work. So an adult, fully mature, 4 to 5 years of age, castrated, so they have been surgically or whatever, their testicles removed so they don't have the male hormones that a bull would have, and then male, so they're born as bull calves, and then an adult male castrated bovine. So bovine being cattle, Bos taurus, Bos indicus, the two main species of cattle, domesticated cattle, and trained to work. And I think the last part is actually the most important part of it, because you can have an adult male castrated bovine, and I've seen them. They're kind of fun spectacles because they tend to get bigger than a bull of the same breed, and they're very docile and tame. But if it's not trained to work, to me, that's not an oxen. And so we like to think of that being their occupation rather than their identity. So most of the time, the animals that end up becoming oxen are usually from dairy cattle breeds. You can make an ox out of a beef breed. Beef breeds tend to be, at least more modern beef breeds, tend to be polled, so they don't have horns, which doesn't mean it can't be an ox, but traditionally oxen do have horns, and there's some reasons for that. It does block the head from being able to come out of the yoke. It also has a lot to do with thermal regulation. It cools the animal. There's actually capillaries in here that disperse heat. So as a working animal, dispersing of heat is actually really important. The beef animals can be, and the beef animals also tend to put on more flesh, more weight. So they might get a little bit of a larger condition. They might get a little over fat. So the dairy breeds tend to be more available. They don't flesh as easily, so they're easier to keep into good physical condition. And they usually the dairy breeds that usually have horns. So these guys are a Fleckvieh oxen. Fleckvieh is not a common dairy breed, at least not in North America. But it is a really kind of multi-purpose. It tends to be a little bit beefier than some of the other more common breeds. Their temperament is great. I love these guys. It's probably my favorite team that I've ever trained. So that's a quick definition of what is an ox. So here in North America, it's usually a mature, 4 to 5 year old, castrated, without their hormones, male, born as a bull calf that is bovine, trained to work. And other parts of the world, you can work, there's often working cows, lactating cows that can also be trained to work, or intact male bulls. It's more common in other parts of the world, but it's not very common here in North America. So just a little quick video on what is an ox.